So welcome, aloha, to developers meeting on Sunday, 19th of March, 2023. And Ido, please.
Yeah, welcome everyone. Let's start with Fabio. I know you did some work this week, so let's focus on your progress.
Yeah, I didn't progress that much this week because I just started a new job and a lot of different new things. But anyway, what I did was to ensure that we had a version of the QHY live executable at least running on the container. So everyone can just start a container there and plug in the USB, the QHY camera on the USB and see the live view, and you can test it and you can adjust the focus and do everything like this. So, but it only runs on the Orange Pi right now, or on a Linux box that you have to plug in the USB there directly. It does not work with the WSL for Windows right now, because Windows doesn't share the USB ports through the WSL. And so it doesn't work.
You can share it on Windows. I can show you how to do that. But
yeah, I tried doing that with a USB to IP to Ethernet and things like that, but it didn't work out. But we can try it later on. I didn't went that direction very hard, so because I had a lot of other things to do, and it was working on the Orange Pi, and for me it's enough because I do most of the programming on the Orange Pi, and that's it, and it works straight out of the Orange Pi. You just have to install it. I put a recipe there for you to just make it work on the ring out channel. So it's just install the Ubuntu and start the container, and that's it. That's enough for the program to run.
So you don't need to install the QHY SDK?
No, you don't. It's already installed inside the container. Everything works.
Oh, it's installed inside the container. But what about the UDEV rules to access the USB and everything? Or yes, you just get like admin permissions.
Yeah, it already has the permission, so you don't need it.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, for me, I had when I play with it, I had to install the UDEV rules on the host machine.
No, I just tried. I installed everything from scratch. I put it on an SD card and just boot it and just start the Docker container, and it worked. So.
And if you do like USB, how it's called? Forgot the command now. The USB list, that show USB device. You see QHY, or you see like this? No,
you see QHY. Yes.
Interesting. I'll have to look at what you did. I'm curious.
I can even put it here, and we can just try it because I did it this week. But anyway.
Because the way it works when you normally plug in the camera, it doesn't detect it as QHY, but it detects it as like I think like C80 device or something like that. And then there is a specific UDEV rules that will call FX load, and then it will dump the firmware, and then it will detect the QHY. Detect it as QHY.
We don't need that. I never did it. I never did that anyway. Ever since I started programming with the Orange Pi, I never did to mess with the UDEV or the FX load.
With Ubuntu, it's something different, like when you use NixOS or something like that. On Arch, at first I had to do it, but when they're in place, when they're running in your home directory of the user, that will work too. So it doesn't matter where you have those UDEV rules; they are found.
Yeah. Let me just fix it here.
Okay.
So this means that we can all, who have an Orange Pi and a camera, use that instructions as Fabio pointed out, right?
Richard, can you hear Fabio?
Fabio, can you say something?
He is talk. Oh, he is talking. You can't hear him?
No, I have to get out and get in.
Oh, that's a very different. Yeah. You have a different camera model than what I have.
No. Let me switch the camera here just a second.
Oh,
I have two. I have two QHY cameras. So let me put the 183. Okay.
yeah, that's interesting. And you don't have the QHY SDK running?
No, I don't. Not in here. That's fresh install.
Wow. I never see that as this device.
Yeah, that's a fresh install, and can just see the. Let me just get in here because I don't remember the command directly.
Man, oh, okay, maybe no, it can't be the new Ubuntu. Ah, okay, I'll have to dig into that. Why?
Where is it?
Yeah, you give privilege to the USB. Yeah, okay, so that's similar to the Docker that I did before. That does all of that. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's okay. I know it will work because
It's just to show everyone that's
yeah.
how it's running. So let me just open the window here just a second.
So, Christian, how it detects now the proper driver?
Because the window was closed.
Maybe they are part of the kernel now.
The part of the kernel? No, they wouldn't put the. Can you type FX?
Put Wi-Fi.
Can you type FX load? Do you have it here?
Oh, I think I don't. That's a fresh install. Just point the camera to some place here. It's pointing down.
But this is a different QHY camera. This is not the 183.
Yeah,
no, it's 183.
It's the
183. Yeah.
But why is the resolution so big? 13,000 by 8,000.
Yeah, the resolution is
5500 by 3600.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay,
so I have it here, and then if I click anywhere here, that's what I was talking about. So I have a 101 view here.
Why we do have this sepia effect?
That's just the color schema that I was playing with, but I can change that also because it's very bright in here. So I have a direct sun in front of me. So.
But still a little yellowish.
Yeah, but that's a problem because I set some of the white balance things with the blue, red, and green channel, and it might be the color might be a little bit off, but not by that much. But it's just very bright. And okay, and that's it. We can turn on some handy.
Fabio, is this an 8-bit or 16-bit stream?
That's 16-bit stream.
That's 16-bit stream, really? Wow.
Yeah, that's 16-bit. Yeah, that's
on
16.
7 FPS.
Yeah, if you look at here, it's 16-bit stream. If I change it to 8-bit stream, 8-bit stream. A second. Okay, now it's 8-bit stream.
Okay. Can you show the FPS in the background?
Yeah,
it shows you.
Yeah, but it's
Okay. Yeah, because it
popping up.
just okay. It's 40, 60 fps. If you see the
60.
code. Okay. Oh, it's running in. We can run it on both 16 and 8 bits.
Oh, I see it. 4860. Yeah.
Yeah. The contrast is not great. Let me just.
Um,
I was just with some enhancement.
Why is it moving up and down so much?
Oh, it's moving because I will show. I will just disconnect here, but okay. So just for me to, if you press on anywhere on the screen, it will show here on this thing here, the 101. So that's so you can try the focus for the camera, and that's it. That's how it works. So for you to test the focus and play it.
Yeah.
So we can change the gain here. Change the gain for the camera, and we can change the exposure by pressing plus and minus. For instance, if I press the plus here, it will go very bright. You have the exposure here. So we can press plus to enhance 10% and minus to it. So there,
I want to go back. I want to go back to the beginning. Okay. I still trying to figure out how the hell it got recognized as QH1Y83. Okay. When I connect my camera to a fresh Ubuntu, that's I don't see it as QHY.
Oh, weird. I didn't install anything.
Do you see it at all?
That's a fresh. This one is just fresh Ubuntu that installed.
Type FX load for a second.
Okay. Have it.
And you have FX3. Okay, you have the QHY installed, the QHY SDK installed. No chance you don't.
Okay, I didn't install it. I didn't play with it. I didn't install it. That's a fresh Ubuntu install. I just the first thing I did was just start the Docker image. Unless it comes.
Which Docker image? Which Docker image are you looking at?
we are looking at the one that I built. That's the Sky 360 lead 105.
Let me see. Sorry,
Yeah.
we have to go. We have to go through. I have to go deep on it because
that's okay. That's okay. We are running on this. That's the one. It's in there. I have the latest QHY SDK and everything, but inside the Docker.
Did you base it on the Docker that I created or no? Completely separate. No, okay.
No, that's
because the Docker I created, I did a patch that it will force install of the SDK on the host machine. That's the only way I got it to work.
No, I didn't.
So try to type. Try to type QHY and tab. See what you get. Nothing.
No. That's what I'm saying. So if
I'm baffled.
let me just show you Docker files, rent, I just installed this code for me to work.
So this is on the Sky 360 lib repository?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's it. It's just based on the BGS. Yeah, it's based on the BGS library that only has the BGS library. That's based on the OpenCV one. That's based on the base one. I can check the base one to see if
you're downloading it. You're downloading here the SDK. Look at that.
I know. I did that, and I did that for both for the.
Okay.
No, but as I was saying, I have it on the container, not on the host machine.
No, it has to install the UDEV rules. It installed the UDEV rules on the host machines. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The way yeah. When you run the install, it puts the UDEVOLs on the host machine. It cannot do it any other way. That's why when you connect your camera, you see the QHY. Otherwise, you won't see that.
Okay, got it. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, I played so hard on it.
No, because you know that
Vous déposez, ok. Je vais chercher
God,
une place
that
de
was like-
parking.
I thought you have some voodoo magic there. Okay, good.
No, yeah, I'm using the SDK directly from the QHY. That's what I was talking about, and not something.
Yeah. You do the install directly, but okay, I'll explain.
Okay,
Docker is containerizing user mode, but you are sharing the same kernel as the host machine. Okay. So now, when you do the install, it creates UDEVOLs, and because you have the same kernel, those are being uploaded to the host machine. Okay. Yeah, it has to. There's no other way.
Lionel,
Okay.
can you please mute, please?
This will not work if you're not giving the permission for the USB, because that requires kernel level access. Right? You have to share the USB.
Okay.
Like what was the Docker command? The privileged.
The privilege gives access to yeah.
So it can install the UDEVOLs. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If you look at the SDK and what install SH does, it's really the copying FX load and the UDEVOLs. That's what it does. Okay. Sweet. Awesome. Yeah. So by the way, this is also why it will not work for Windows, because you're installing the QHY SDK for Linux.
No. I'm okay. I know. That's not what I was doing.
Yeah.
I'm not running this on the Windows machine. On the Windows machine, I'm just running the QHY.
Yeah. So you need to install so if you install.
No. It's already installed. The one for Windows. That's
okay.
Okay. Yeah, it's completely different. Yeah. The problem is other, because I am not able to build it against the SDK for Windows.
Got it.
Yeah, it's poorly developed. It's a mess. In fact, the libs and the headers are awful.
Yeah.
So they make a big mess there. And for Windows, it seems that they don't build it for Windows that much, so it was based on Qt and things like this, and so it doesn't work. I was trying to fix it, but it's a lot of trouble.
Yeah, don't worry about Windows.
Fabio,
Yeah.
Fabio, can you restart? Can you restart your software?
Yeah.
Okay. When you click in, yeah, exactly. I want to say something. So the reason why you did this is this one-on-one image. That's the crop out so that you get the native resolution of the camera on screen. This is used for attaching your camera to the adapter and also the optic to the adapter. So the other way around. First the optic to the adapter and then the camera to the adapter. And then turn the focuser ring to get a short image.
Yeah, I can turn my focus here just for you to see.
Can you do this?
Just a second. Just.
Si, une fois. Ah, t'as un nouveau livre de poisson.
Lionel, can you please mute? Thank you.
So it's completely out of focus now. So
And then he unmutes.
And when you turn the focus, Lionel, can you please mute? Lionel, please mute. Okay, otherwise I mute him for a second.
Yeah, you can mute him.
I mute him. Just for now, just for seconds. So now he's out. Okay. Because I muted him?
No,
I hope not. Okay.
I'm right here.
He's here? Okay,
Lionel.
Lionel,
Yeah,
I
sorry,
just saw him drop out. Okay, anyway. So, coming back to the one-to-one view, the reason why Fabio did this is for you to be able to find the sweet spot for your focuser. When you do this, just note where the focuser is then, the indicator point on the focuser ring is then. It should be from the very left to the very right, somewhere in the middle. Okay? Do not worry about whatever is noted on the ring. This is for special adapters, for T2, T42 adapters kind of. But we have an own adapter, so don't care about what the ring indicates. Just find your sweet spot. That should be around about 50% from the very left to the very right. And that's the reason why we have this one-to-one view.
yeah, and I did this or like this, so we can just click on anywhere on the screen. So we have the big view, and we can just click and change it.
Where is your sweet spot now, in percentage from left to right?
No, it's not connected to the to the lens, to the.
Oh, it's a difference. It's a scope. It's
Yeah,
not
no,
the lens.
yeah, it's
of
a
course.
scope.
Sorry,
Yeah,
sorry. Yeah. Stupid
No,
me.
that's okay.
I should have seen. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it.
So the idea is now that every one of you who has the camera and the optic can perform the instructions as Fabio stated. And the idea is to have that up and running as soon as possible, so that we have, in theory, 14 stations now running with this version, and we can improve upon this. That would be my guess or my proposal here, because we cannot wait until NixOS is coming on the Pi 5, and the firmware issue with Rust is a different one. So we cannot wait for this to happen. I think this is a very good basis here for a lower version we can build upon. How do you see it?
Yeah, I
That's
think so.
because we are going to collect data for AI.
Yep, true. So this means that all other parts, all other modules can then be added on, like the tracker and inference and the kinematic stuff. So I think when we all have Fabio's version installed, Mike, for example, you can transfer the tracker there.
This is another demo that uses background subtraction that we just on there. This is the background subtraction, and let me change the camera, because this camera, the 183, is just too. It's used on the scope, so it has a very narrow view. Find it down.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I can just increase it. I have a reflection because it's my scope here, and it's pointing down, but
Oh, looks like the background subtraction is too aggressive.
Yeah,
It's
so
because
here at least.
camera parameters changed, so entire frame
Yeah.
is affected.
Yeah.
You can see the background subtraction working. We just increase it a little bit here.
Yeah. Nice.
Even put some of the blob action here.
Kirsten, what do you think? You have the QHY working.
Yeah, looks great.
And the capture is running at a great speed. So
Yeah.
but that's on my other camera. That's only 6 megapixel camera. So
Yeah.
Are you using as background subtractor the weighted moving variance, right?
yeah, the beta I can change it to
You can toggle to vibe.
I can toggle to vibe. Just a
Yeah,
second.
cool.
For vibe it takes a while.
Okay.
Now it's vibe.
All right. Cool. So my question is to Mike, Mr. Mike Grunewald. Do you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, sure. Do you want to like just use my address as well?
Yeah, there's another Michael. I don't know how to address you in the correct way.
No, it's fine. No, I'm joking. Yeah, of course.
It's like the mama call.
So is the next steps to bring that you install the same, because I think you all have the camera and the Pi too, so that you can install it and then put your tracker on it.
Yeah. So my ultimately yes. Like right now, I am working on the. So I have to apologize because this last week I didn't get much done because I've just got some stuff outside of just having some building work done. So that's taken up quite a lot of my time and is probably going to over the next couple of weeks. So with that out the way, yes. So this last week, what I achieved is I managed to get the TensorFlow examples working, running in our container, and I had to update the TensorFlow ROS2 source code or whatever you want to call it, repository, because it was very much focused on the Foxy version of ROS2, so which uses message definitions which are different to the version to Humble. So I had to kind of get all that stuff updated, ensure I could get all that stuff working using our container. So I managed to get that done and execute the examples that come with the ROS2 TensorFlow repository or packages. So that is working. My aim this week is to try and understand that in a bit more detail, and also I've got that to do, and then I also have the stuff that David's working on. So for example, the auto tuning stuff, I want to try and integrate that also. So those are sort of the two things that I am wanting to do. And then once that's complete, then I will look at kind of getting it running on the hardware that I've been provided with. So at the moment, it's purely just sort of software orientated for me. As I say, get those two problems solved, then I will try and get this all working on the i5 using the camera and all those sorts of things. Whether that is achievable for next weekend, I'm unsure, but that's sort of my timeline in all fairness. So that's what I'm working towards.
Perfect.
Yeah, and then also just need to work with Nicola. So like once I can get the TensorFlow stuff working and I understand that better, then maybe have a then I'll have to work with Nicola as well to try and get a version of the model, the version of the model that he's building. And so there's okay. Sorry, yeah. So currently the way the ROS2 TensorFlow nodes work, or the current implementation is it's service based. So, for example, if I were to use it exactly like it is now, I would get an image, I would get a bounding box around an object. I would then call the ROS2 node to ask it to detect something in the bounding box, get a result, and then continue on with the pipeline. I don't like that. So I rather it needs to subscribe to the topics that it needs and then do its classification and then pass it on to other topics so that it doesn't interrupt the processing pipeline, or it doesn't govern the speed of the processing pipeline. So there's some rework that needs to be done there also. So I guess the point I'm trying to make is there's quite a bit of work that I need to do to get that working, and then get David's stuff integrated, get like a management node working as well, and then comes the hardware stuff. Sorry.
Cool. Super. So, brings us closer to the Aloha version.
I think, Richard, I think you need to. I think Fabio switched devices, so you can't hear when he's talking again. Do you mind just stepping out?
Oh yeah, we should have that problem.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No,
Thanks for saying to me.
No, so what I was going to say is that, Mike, I'm going to modify the camera node there to accept the input from the QHY, so we can configure that. And I will also make all the parameters configurable from ROS, so we can just change them also. So let me do that all, and you can just focus on the other stuff. And when you are able, you can just switch, change the parameters on the config to use the camera, and that's it.
Okay, thank you.
I have one question to Fabio.
Yes.
The Pi has an NPU. Any chance it is usable for us?
Yes, it's usable, but we need to use the libraries that they provide to do the computation. So it's a matter that we have to talk with Nicholas and Mike and everyone. So how can we use the library itself, so we can speed up things there? But it's usable. We can do it.
Cool.
I think from my point of view is so we're going to be restricted by how TensorFlow can execute and what sort of hardware it can use. So if it can execute on any sort of NPU, I don't quite know what that is, but if it can use that or leverage that, or then we'll be able to support it. But if it doesn't, then I don't think we will. Just to manage expectations as well.
Okay. Well, I was talking because I saw that we have a TensorFlow, a library that uses for TensorFlow for the Orange Pi, but I don't know much about it, so we have to figure it out.
That looks promising.
Yeah, me either, mate. So yeah.
There are also tools for TensorFlow to convert models to TensorFlow Lite models that are used for the edge devices. And during this conversion process, you can choose the size of the weights and biases in the targeted model. So it goes from float 32 that I use on my PC. It goes down to even integer 16 bits. So it is because neural processing unit NPU on Orange Pi is working only with integers. It doesn't support floating point operations. And when we convert the model, there can be performance loss. Not huge, but some of it is there. Because we cut off some of the information from the model by reducing it to lower memory space.
Anyone here who understood it? Sorry.
Okay.
Can you say it in layman's words?
So usually when we
Can you
train the
talk a
models,
bit louder, Nicola?
I will try
Nicola, can you
to.
talk a bit louder, man? I'm struggling.
Yeah. How about
Yes.
now?
Oh, but
Oh,
much
yeah,
better.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you train the TensorFlow models on PC, you create a model with some number of parameters, layers, whatnot, and each of the weights and biases are represented via 32-bit float number. And it's all fine and good on x86 CUDA, but when you need to go to the edge devices or ARM or something low power CUDA, you need usually to convert your model using TensorFlow tools from regular model to light model. And during this conversion, you can choose new memory type, D type, data type for weights and biases of converted model. And it can go down from 32-bit floating point to 16-bit floating point, or even into integer space, like 16-bit integers. And this integer space is important because NPU works with integers, with 8-bit, 16-bit, and 32-bit, I think, integers. And also when we convert model from standard to light variant or micro variant, it can lose some performance, few percent.
Why does it lose? Can you explain this?
So right now, all the knowledge of the model is encoded into these 32-bit floating points numbers. And then during this transition to 8-bit integer, you need to lose some information.
So you sample down, okay, got it.
Yeah, I think they take like start from bits with least significance and then take away even more. I don't know exact process.
Okay, yeah, but this is always the process. So you train it in a model with 32 floating range.
Yeah,
and
yep,
then it is
yep.
downgraded to integer on an edge device.
Yeah, when you convert to TensorFlow Lite, not on edge device, you can export converted model on workstation and then load onto the Pi.
Yeah. Yo, any other questions or topics around the Aloha version? Otherwise,
What is the Dahua? I saw a diagram of Aloha version and there is a Dahua camera as well. Is it important or is it what it is?
It's a really nice to have.
Yeah, it is. Why not?
The Dahua cam was the camera used on SkyHub, and we said let's support that one and each USB camera that we can lay our hands to, but we prefer to use the QHY because it fits well to the Mikey fisheye optic. But to be backward compatible, you can use the Dahua, even it doesn't get all the same resolution as the QHY can.
And on enclosure, we have a space for this Dahua, right?
Yes.
Another dome, okay.
So don't worry about the Dahua cam. For those who have that camera, we will support it. But as an advice, we say, as a suggestion, we say the QHY camera is the one to go with.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. So Nicola, you want to continue? Maybe.
Maybe, yeah. In the meantime, I created like a setup for ML project where you can play with data, play with models, write scripts for training and so on. It's like one repository where you have Jupyter notebooks, and with Python Conda environment, you can also run the Python files. So this is where all the dataset analytics tool and model benchmarking tools will live. This is where I plan to place them. There is also a folder for Jupyter notebooks, folder for Python code, folder for data. This Python server is inside of a Docker container, so I put shell script how to run the Docker container with volume mounts between host and guest. So your container has access to data set without actually needing to copy it into container itself. So
Sweet.
I started writing some README for the repository to show all the modes of operation. I mean this via Jupyter and via raw Python. And then I plan to create notebooks for existing model and some analysis tools for datasets. For the beginning, just basic stuff to display count of classes, and for time series data to display how long is each track and so on. And it will also be used for model performance analysis, where you can see the output softmax probabilities and to see what it mixes up and what not with some colors when he, for example, makes a wrong decision, and then we color it in red, but we still see the probabilities and what should be the correct answer. Just some tools to help us in the future.
Yeah, cool. Good.
And that's it.
Okay. Richard, do you have any following questions?
Yeah, always. Do you need, Nicola, do you need any changes on the GitHub? You need a repository I set up?
Yeah, I just need the repository so I can have version control.
Okay, so this one repository you need, okay.
One repository.
Yeah. And there were two archives. Yeah, Rebecca, you wanted to archive the UI and the GUI. I have to do that next days. Hey, Ido, why not talk about the GUI right now?
Yeah, I was about to. Yeah, so
we have the right people here. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so with GUI, let's relate to Rebecca. Rebecca, you can take the lead on that.
Yes, I just created a new repository. I sent both links to John and Dan. I sent them the links to that so they can take a look at it. It's very rudimentary. Just to let you know, we've gone through a couple of different iterations of the graphical user interface, and we are just now transitioning to OpenMCT. So it's kind of like a ground zero. There's really nothing there. It's for us to put together, for all of you to put your input in, recommendations and other aspects of that. So if you can take a look at an OpenMCT sample, I think both of you can see that on the repository, the links to that information, so that you can set it up yourself and take a look at it. So right now we're at ground zero, but John has been assigned the task to take care of the video media player, the video feed, and then Dan, I guess we ought to know what you think you would like to work on and so forth, and what your skill set is.
Sure. We can definitely discuss that and kind of get into it. I can kind of plug in really depending on what's needed. So I'll kind of be reactive to that.
So you're kind of comfortable with learning.
I'm sorry, I have to step outside for like 5 minutes. I'll be right back.
Okay, so you're kind of comfortable with transitioning to different languages and things like that. So that's okay for you.
Not too big of a challenge, but it might take a little bit of time. But I like learning new things, so
okay.
I'm up for it.
And it might even be great for you and John to work together on the camera feed, because that's the biggest pain point for us, is to make sure that the camera player gets a good camera feed so that we can see the video on the graphical user interface. And it'll be a camera media player that will also work for the PTF camera, the zoom in camera. and we will eventually have multiple cameras on the graphical user interface. So you might want to get with Dan so both of you can work together on that as well. Just an idea in case you just to see where we go, I guess. But we're just really starting on this now. So
sounds good.
okay. So yeah, just go to the repository, take a look at that, download it, see how it looks, how it works, and both of you come up with some recommendations on what you think we could add, what you think we need. From what I understand, on the alpha version, we're only going to have the camera media player, and I think that's pretty much it. Isn't that it, Richard?
Yeah, I think we have some parameters we can display, like GPS coordinate, for example, and probably a lot of parameters that are ROS intrinsics. I don't know how many downloads or how much traffic or something. But Ido has to explain this.
Maybe local and global time.
Yeah, time.
Okay.
True.
we're going to try to get.
Do we have some screenshots of existing kind of ROS2? I guess just GUI screenshots that are comprehensive of kind of the elements that need to be integrated in?
Yes, we do. You can see that in the GUI channel. They're on Discord. Awesome. If you scroll up, you'll see some images of that. There's also a design document in there. It's not finished, but it might get you started. The second half of the design document will have information, more specific information regarding what will be on the graphical user interface, because we're going to have a lot of different devices that we'll be reading data from. Well, to begin with, we'll have the graphical user interface, which will receive data from either the Sky360 station or through APIs from the internet. So, for example, we'll have a hardware product that reads flight data, but we'll also have an online API that reads flight data. That way, people who can't afford the hardware just yet can still use the online option. So we'll need to have a feature where they can select either the hardware or the online option to receive data from. And we're going to have multiple devices and multiple online resources to get data from, just to let you know. So I hope that clears it up a little bit more, but there's quite a few products, flight, satellite, ISS, probably the Chinese space station as well, weather, climate controls from the station, whip motion device, which from what I understand reads magnetic signatures. I'm not familiar with whip motion, but we'll have other products. Yeah.
Whip motion does 10 different parameters.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say also like weather control, like clouds and stuff like that.
Dan and John, you got both access to our Drive folders. And when you go to software, there is a subcategory GUI, and there you'll find not only the documents that Rebecca referred to, but also examples of the user interface. This is just a first example, but it shows the content.
It's mock-ups. Yeah, they're just mock-ups, I think.
Yeah. So don't care about the design, care about the content. So parameters and so on.
Yep.
Yeah, and actually the design is taken care of with OpenMCT. OpenMCT is the design, if that makes sense. Maybe not the placement of everything, but it's the design, the style.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Cool. And as you heard, we are talking about now the lower version, and this is just a raw playback. And maybe if you could manage it, even a scrubbing function, so play backwards and forwards and so forth. Maybe even with different speeds and so forth. But
that's really that's quite. Yeah, that you're getting. I think you guys have got a massive issue of scope creep at the moment. So I think let's just get a video on. Let's just get a video feed and go from there.
I'm always wishing too much, but someone has to ask.
Yeah, no. So we don't play to do record and playback for the alpha version.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just too complex. But I'll speak with you offline about it specifically. Okay. Because I'm trying to work on some very cheap alternatives for record and playback, and I think I have something, and I want to discuss it with you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, one quick question. So OpenMCT has plugins. And you can also create custom plugins. Are there any specific plugins or custom plugins that that we know that we want to create already or utilize already?
Yeah. So we need to discuss what is for like alpha. But that should be straightforward. Like you can work on GPS, getting the coordinates, it's a USB GPS that you can get for like $20, and just getting the UI for it probably will be good. Like the Node.js.
So putting that on a map.
Yeah.
So using something like Leaflet, and or some type of map.
Your choice. Yeah. I mean, work with Rebecca. She's the expert on the UI.
Well, I think, didn't we discuss, Saida, that we wanted to hold off on doing actual maps until a later version, but we could get the GPS data from the GPS device?
That's what I said, speak with you. Like, we need the coordinates, right? Like, so the GPS, in the end of the it's right now it's going to be USB that you're going to receive. I think it's a normal kind of like a serial communication, translate into a ROS a topic. Publish it, and then the UI can listen to it, and you can see it in a nice.
So can I jump in there quickly? I was going to say, so if you need to like mock UPS, if you need to mock GPS data, I can set up a node that basically publishes some GPS data, which is going to be rubbish, but it'll be something that you can subscribe to and interact with if you want. So yeah, because ultimately it's going to be, so it depends on if you want to get kind of stuck into the ROS side of things, or if you just want to do the UI, or do you want to cover both? But if you need, anyway, the point I'm trying to make is if you need help with getting some sort of data from ROS2 that will eventually be GPS, and you don't want to do that, then just let me know and I can help.
And then there is
basically.
Go ahead, Rebecca.
I was going to say, basically, depending on your previous skill set and experience, you may be comfortable with jumping into ROS2 and OpenMCT all together. If you could even write your own ROS2 node. ROS2 node is basically a file. ROS just reads everything from particular files. So, for example, each ROS node will handle a separate device. For example, one ROS node will handle the GPS device, another ROS node will handle the whip motion device. So you could, if you wanted to, write a ROS2 node that grabs data from the GPS device, and then the ROS2 node will send that data to the OpenMCT plugin, and it'll send it via a topic or an action. And you'll need to read up on that if you want to do that, or just use what Mike is offering to make for you. So that's your option on that. But that's how it will be connected together.
Yeah, and also if you struggle, if you guys struggle, just reach out. Okay, not to say that any of us can fix it for you, but yeah, if you struggle with anything, just don't sweat it. Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah. There is, to give you a bit more focus, let me find real quick just Rebecca, can you share your Sky 360 GUI document on a screen?
My Sky 360 GUI document.
Yeah, because I want to show him that there is that UI when there is like the station information, right, and and a bunch of all the sensor data. So that may be a very good start for him.
Can you give me about 5 minutes? I'm on my cell phone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No problem. So let me see if I can do
Okay.
that.
But it's actually
I
on the drive.
might have it.
Have a look on the drive.
Yeah. I always have issues finding it on the iPad. I don't have Drive.
Google Drive.
And Dan, you also need ROS Bridge in order to get the data
between
from
ROS and
ROS2.
ROS2. Is that?
Well, yes, it does that, but it also gets data from ROS2 and puts it in a format that the web browser can read it in.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
so basically I've got an example of that. It's essentially you subscribe to a WebSocket using JS, and the data just gets published from the node via WebSockets to the browser. And you just handle the subscription in JS and stuff like that. So I can show you an example of that. It's a noddy example, but it will hopefully, and that's all built into, so the whole ROS bridge thing is built into the container already, so it's already there and so forth and so on. Okay, so you don't have to worry about kind of getting all that stuff up and running. It's already there. I just have to show you how to run it.
Great.
Yeah, I can't find it.
I have the document.
I found it. I'm sharing the screen.
Oh, here it is. GUI version 5. Okay. Give me 1 second.
It's probably the best version would probably be in the GUI channel then, because I think it's version 10 or 11 or something like that.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay.
I have 9.1 here.
There is version 10?
Something like that, yes.
Okay. I have to
GUI. Okay, so Rebecca, I'll wait for you because... I say version 9.1. Okay, yes. I need to download it, so give me a second. No, I can't open it here. Yeah, okay, Rebecca, I'll wait for you to share it.
John, can you hear us?
Yes.
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 You were so silent the last couple of minutes. So
I was listening. Yeah.
Okay, you have access to Drive and you see the same document.
Yes, I just checked. It works.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
I have a question to Fabio again. You're my go-to guy for these questions. Do you have a GPS mouse? You're muted.
Sorry. If I have a what?
Do you have a GPS dongle?
No, I don't.
Okay. There is one. We have a link on our create list of hardware. It costs $15. We can send you one, or you buy one for yourself, whatever you prefer. Would you be able to? I mean, I know it's working straightforward. You just plug it in a Linux and an Ubuntu device, and with what is this called? There's already a software on Ubuntu that reads out that device and gives you the parameters. So my question is, can you test that on the Pi, whether it works? Would you be able to test it when you have a GPS mouse?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
As long as
shall I send you one?
As long as I have it here, I can test it. That's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Because then, Mike, you can build a ROS node based on real GPS coordinates.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I wouldn't have thought the coordinates would be changing that much, would they?
No. I just want to make it round.
So yeah, so it could be. I mean, it could be configurable as well, right? So, and you could use something like, yeah, that's fine, Richard. No probs.
You know me. I'm the only one representing the community with so many questions. Okay, so blame it on
Yeah,
me.
no, I know, mate. Yeah, no,
But-
sorry, I don't mean it that way. It was just I don't want to. So I don't think I have to publish GPS coordinates like every X amount of times a second. They probably only have to be done very, very seldomly, sort of thing, because it's not something that's going to change much, is it? Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just more the time.
Yeah, but
sink.
don't you also want? Yeah, I was say, don't you also want it for time sync?
Yeah.
You know, time stamping.
Yeah.
Yeah, for that that's good. Yeah, the GPS itself coordinates will not change that much, but
Yeah, true. So, shall I send you a dongle, or do you purchase one yourself?
no, I can purchase it. I'll talk to Ido and see which one it's better to get it, and I will do it. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Hey, I got a question. What if we do want to take this thing mobile? What if we want to go to a place for like 3 weeks or a month and camp out?
Do it.
That's the other great
you'll
use
be
of the
able to.
GPS.
Yeah, we're just talking that we won't be updating the GPS every second to get the coordinates, but we will be updating it from time to time. We just don't need it from a GPS stream.
Like once a day, maybe?
Every 10
No,
minutes.
configurable.
Yeah, we can make it configurable.
We just have to configure it and we see. Yeah.
Depends how bad the time clock on the Pi is.
Okay, do you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Okay, so then this is what I'm talking about.
It's very dark.
Well, that's from the PDF. Nothing I can do about that.
No, that's the Christian. Are you there? Christian Ambros? Oh, he's not there anymore. Okay, so I have to explain. It is his preference for color range. Dark background and mostly red data. Okay, so the normal text can be grayish, kind of, whatever, between gray and white or whatever. So the idea is with red color is with our eyes good in contrast. We have a good contrast on red, on black, and it does not interfere with our reflexes or recognition system. So
I can't read anything on that screen.
Yeah, you could just make a
me neither.
Can I?
You have to zoom in. Can you zoom in?
Zoom in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could just make the text brighter. I mean, it could still stay the color, just make it brighter.
Maybe UI can have themes and then you just choose
Yeah.
light or dark and
Yeah, whatever. Make it poppy or
Well, let's not discuss colors. Let's discuss the content.
please.
But I can't see this.
Well, there is a PDF. The idea on the PDF there are two important things. I would say this screen that gives like the station information, and then there is this screen, right, which is kind of the event log, right?
Yeah.
So those two UI components are good to start with.
Okay, great.
Maybe this one is a bit easier to read, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the tick box, optical radio, motion? What are the checkboxes there?
Yeah. Forget about the buttons right now. The table is.
So pretty much event table.
Yeah, event log.
History of tracks.
Yes, or history or existing ones, right? I mean.
So we need some status like this one is being tracked, this one is no longer being tracked. I mean, it disappeared.
Again, I would say start with this, and then we can improve, right? And see. But yeah, you're right.
Maybe at the beginning we just publish the completed tracks. No need to put in progress ones.
I mean, for now, I would say we only, because we don't have record and playback, so it's only going to be live anyway, right?
Yeah.
Well, we have record, or we can do manual playback. But how do you want to how do you want to capture this? So, what sort of how do you want to store this? Do you want to publish? So essentially, what I'm trying to ask, I guess, is do you want to publish this to a node that goes into Prometheus, or do you want to store this in, like, basically the tracker sort of thing?
This was the idea with Neo4j instance service node, whatever.
No,
to aggregate all the data.
This should not go to Prometheus, and you know, I wouldn't think where to store it right now. Okay, I would more focus on displaying it, and then we can figure out how we bind it for like the tracker and the information from the tracker.
So in abstract,
just log it. So we just log it to the console for now.
Yes.
Okay.
Or UI.
Just to be clear, are you talking about?
Or maybe UI hooks to the DDS, and then whatever it's coming in, it just appends to the table, and when you click F5 in the browser, everything is forgotten.
So that's just. I mean, so if I.
So yes and no, but you have to understand something around DDS. In DDS, when you do a subscription, you can also ask history data on the subscription. Okay, so if you ask, let's say, the last 20 events of the event logger, you should be able to receive all of them.
I see.
You don't have them, right?
Yeah.
The DDS is actually super advanced in this scenario.
Can it be used like long-term storage or?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying keep it simple for now, and then we can improve on that with the subscription and everything.
So, sorry, man. I just trying to try and understand this. So, do you want like an event log node that publishes event log data to a node that you can subscribe to, or do you
so the event log
just log to the console?
So think about the event log as an observer node that it's subscribed to the tracker and everything else in the system and creates the event log, right? And then the UI is reading from that. Yes.
That's fine. Yeah, because that gives us most flexibility, because then you can subscribe to that event log node via Ross Bridge and display it on a web page if you want, and another node can subscribe to it and persist it to a database if it wants to, or whatever.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah, like technically, if we want to build it like right, we will want a ROS node for every plugin in the UI, right? So it interacts with the ROS node in the background. Does that make sense?
I think so. I think we can. I think so. I'll make it as part of the observer package, because the observer package is going to be quite a.
Yeah.
It's going to be quite a big package with several nodes in it.
Yes.
And it can go in there. And I think the first thing is I'll just get it publishing data onto a node, and then, we can always decide what to do with it from there.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
And again, don't try to do everything. Like maybe teach Ben how to do it. So
that's fair enough. Yeah, that's fair enough. If anyone else wants to. Yeah, if anyone else wants to pick that up, they're more than welcome. Yeah, absolutely. No, that's cool.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so that was my thoughts around that. Like these two, like this one and this one. Yeah.
Okay.
I think those will be a very good start. Cool. And then feel free to reach out if you need anything. We are always available around the clock. At least one of us.
Awesome.
Yeah, we have very high redundancy.
And no life.
Yeah. True.
Oh my God, my watch dropped. Sorry.
So, any other question? Hey, John, we didn't hear anything from your side.
All right.
Are you okay?
I'm okay. I know my contacts.
All right.
I mean, if I so the last thing I did 1 minute ago was adding a comment on the GUI OpenMCT login page issue regarding what technology to use. I'm not sure this would be the right place to discuss it. I guess that would be more for the GUI team, right? But if you want to discuss it, I can discuss it now.
Go ahead. We still have time.
Okay. So maybe some of you have heard of Nginx, the web server daemon, which can be used as a reverse proxy. It includes an underlying request module and combination with authentication plugins such as Wooch. One can essentially configure the authentication in a single YAML file, and you can configure Wooch to use OAuth or OpenID and connect backends such as GitHub, Google, and such for the authentication. And it's a relatively popular open source solution that has been developed for years. And I think it's rather convenient to just essentially encapsulate the entire GUI in this with this reverse proxy authentication. So only if someone is authenticated on that system, they can even access the Sky 360 GUI. So even if there was some issue initially on security on the Sky 360 GUI, only the ones who get authenticated through the Nginx reverse proxy in the first place can even see any of that or access any of that. Yeah, maybe a bit much and fast.
And authorization shall happen, for example, via Google?
That's an option. It doesn't have to. You can also directly just have your login name and password. But it can you use your Google or your GitHub account, for example, is a possibility with Wooch.
I think this probably comes down to whether you want to have offline stations, I guess.
Yeah.
Where you would want to have a direct login, yes. But in principle, you could have both, right?
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's
also
fair
need
enough.
to think about, okay, let's say the connection between UI client in the browser and the station is secure, but we need to scope other channels of communication like DDS. If DDS is not protected, then UI is secured for no reason.
What do you mean? Sorry.
So we can put as much security as we want between instance of GUI in browser and the station. But if DDS is not secured with DDS secure, then it's
so okay. Step one, right? Security is when you want to go enterprise and you want to make everything secure and you need to support all the customers. We don't think about security right now, okay, at all, because and I will say when we want to attack security, the number one priority will be to protect the data stream to make sure that no one tamper with it. That will be very, very important. With that said, again, DDS has many years of experience. The security is as built in. You don't need more than that. It supports, you can have message signing, message encryption, and you can have role-based access control. Right. Those are the fundamental security models that you want to work with. Okay.
Yeah.
Which means like a user cannot subscribe to a topic and will never receive a message that he's not allowed to. Right. As an example. Right. So you can get all the roles that you want. For example, a system technician that can look at internal debugging stuff, and you can put like an operator that will look at oddly like operations topics, right? And that is achievable with DDS. Okay, so I wouldn't worry.
What do we have right now? So by
I
default,
would
is
say,
it?
so I would say, putting security in place will be part of productionizing this.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to add
Yeah.
I just want to add that the reason I have a login page is because, you know, they have the alpha version on their laptop and they need to log in and log out because what if, you know, for example, the cat walks across the screen and changes some of the data inputted by the user, such as their name, etc., or, you know, their little kids
Minimize the
Yeah, no,
browser.
I
So
get
you
that,
need
but
something to,
I wouldn't worry about that, even a login page for the alpha version.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
even Plug is perfect for alpha.
yeah, I think we're going to have enough challenge just to get people to get it working with what we currently have. So I don't yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
I see.
I just,
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Rebecca.
I just imagine, you know, pets and little kids getting their hands on the keyboard and walking all over everything, you know, and it would be nice because I know the alpha version we're going to have to, you know, input in our name. Some of us may have to actually put in our own latitude, longitude, just in case they don't have the device or for some reason they're not online and we can't read it off the web browser. And I just don't want that information to be changed without, you know, the user even knowing it. Sometimes, you know, your pets or kids get on the laptop and they change things.
So,
Yeah.
may I put forward the user interface as it is displayed in the document is based on a login, of course. As Rebecca said, you want to keep, let's say, your laptop safe, so you put an account there or an access barrier there. But most important, I think, is the user interface will at the end have tools to manipulate the system. Okay, but only for developing reasons and only for our internal reasons, not for the end user. We do not want the end user, and this is of course on record here, we do not want the end user to be able to manipulate the data, to manipulate the system. And our data that we create with this system is only as good as the data itself is and how reliable it is. So if it is not reliable because there is a backdoor and you can manipulate the data, then all our work is for the bin. Okay, so that's why this is very much important. But just so I'd say something to build a barrier, an authorization barrier is only for if some views where you can really change the system or have, let's say, an impact on changing a name, changing a coordinate. And even if you go deeper into developer parameters that you want to change or adapt. So I'd say the normal use is just a viewing use. Nothing where you can change anything. You can just click, but you can't record or delete anything. You need to go into a credentialized mode in order to be able to whatever.
Mm-hmm. Well, in the end of the day, it's a website that you access, right? You close the website, lock your computer, and it's locked. And that's how I see at least the alpha version should work. Again,
because security is a big deal.
Security is a big deal, and we want to do it right, and we want everyone to focus on it, and it's part of like really productionizing the system, so we can push it further ahead the development. Yeah, so important. I'm not taking it for granted, but I think we have other challenges right now.
Yeah.
Make it barely work first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. And any more updates from anyone?
I was just going to say, however, John, if you want to, you know, do what you suggested, you know, you're more than welcome. We don't want to kind of shut. Yeah, we don't want to kind of shut ideas down or anything like that. Okay, so I'm just conscious about that. So it's, you know, if you want to do a proof of concept, feel free. Okay, just to clarify that. Yeah.
So I assume that the video stream is the first priority, and then if that works, we can look at, for example, this.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're passionate about security and you want to start, then go ahead. We'll love it, right?
We'll need it anyways.
Yeah,
Yes.
anyways, we need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, and there is a lot there. So,
A lot
and
of
Richard,
names.
I'll speak with you. Richard, I'll speak with you after the call.
What about the network architecture of the station? So we have multiple Orange Pis and we have some kind of network device router, right? Or what is which? So will it be like a separate network in its own, so nothing leaks out, like to prevent, for example, accidental node discovery from outside the station?
Yeah, we will be able to protect it. Yeah, we'll protect the multicast group. We'll protect. We'll have eventually like our own internal network for the station, right? So we will have to harden it. Yes.
Okay.
Because if you don't harden it, someone can interfere with the. The small interference can impact the real-time aspect of the system. So you want to lock it down.
Totally. Just a digit in a GPS coordinate.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, and again, it's there won't be like a point in time work when it says security is done. Security is a never-ending story. They'll always have patches. They'll always have attacks. They'll always have. Right. We can discuss in details how we can go. Crazy.
And even when security is really high, there are also side channel attacks which bypass the security mechanism at all.
Yeah.
And do whatever they want.
Yeah. Yeah.
On that note,
but again, until we have the Sky 360, certificate, right? Until then, we don't approve any of the data. You can generate everything, but until we have the certificate for it, like we can't show that this is truth, right?
And then we need to have central repository for all the stations where we issue the cryptographic information for them to sign the data. When we get to the data stamping with Sky 360.
Let's discuss it separately. I have some information.
And not on the record, please.
Yeah, I don't want to share it on the record yet.
Oh.
Exactly.
Dan, you wanted to say something?
I'll do the same.
Yeah.
Oh wait.
Okay, guys. We still have half an hour, but as long as there's no other topic to be discussed.
I just had technical difficulties. Sorry, I just got everything working. I don't know what happened.
Okay.
Nice.
Hey, Wayne, by the way, we need to talk because I give you a list of who needs what parts in the US. Because it's a little bit of a chaos here, and I want to make it clear, this list for you, with you.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay.
Anyway, just let me just state that I was working here. I should be able to get at least the Windows executable soon.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
My USB adapter for my Starlink didn't show up yesterday. I was pretty bummed. It'll probably be here tomorrow. But...
Oh, nice. You guys are always Starlink now.
Yeah.
Oh.
The bearded man. So, guys, no other topic. I'd say we close it for today. Thanks for being here, and I stop recording.